Alrighty, Roo, and cuckoo to you and all my nobodies not watching out there. I'm gonna continue on and head to Two Forks Lookout Tower. 8 miles away. I can hop over things. Can I just hop at any time? I'm already tuckered out. 1982, during the summers, you and Julia enjoy walking Bucket at night. Oh, I'm glad Bucket's still around. I watched the thing and it's like, oh, we started in like the 70s, but like obviously, but like, or like 72? Really? I think? I don't know. There's a festival in town. It brings in folks from faraway places. One of them tries to mug you with a knife? Well, that took a turn. Let me guess. Bucket's of no use. Or even if I hadn't chosen Bucket, I'm still getting stabbed. Fuck. Did the dog... Julia gets flustered and has trouble speaking when she is stressed. You confront the attacker. You scare him away or you beat his goddamn face in. I'm gonna attempt to beat his goddamn face in. Like, fuck this guy. Like, he's probably gonna stab me. There is no reason for my character, like, for me to believe my character has any capacity to do anything. Your arm gets cut up, but you beat the guy to a pulp. Nice. You don't feel very tough. You cry your eyes out before the cops show. Awesome. It's like, I mean, look, your arm gets cut up, so it means like he slashed and stabbed one of your arms. It's arm, singular, but you beat him to a pulp. So I'm assuming it's like your left arm if you're a righty, or reverse if you're a southpaw. You don't, yeah, it's like Julia asks to take a different path from that day forward. You say, okay, you don't want to go that way either. It's like, no, that sucks. Like, makes sense to avoid the place, like, where that traumatic event happened. From then on, you walk by the river. In a van down by the river. 1984. Plans to have kids get waylaid by work. That's it. That's the only... It's like... Honestly, I'm like... I think it's pretty cool you guys, like... thought that far ahead, got married, and waited this long. That they're getting waylaid sucks. But... And that's very vague, like, oh, we get waylaid by work. But it does happen, and I don't, like, honestly, like... That could totally happen. I don't really need to know why. Julia gets offered a job at Yale. Yale is in Connecticut, 2,000 miles away. It's a great job. Associate Department Chair. She wants to move. You absolutely do not. Okay. Convince her not to take the job or agree if she commute. Dude. Douche. Look, I know you guys are married, and I respect the sanctity of marriage and all sorts of things and want to make marriage work, but you guys didn't make kids happen. I feel like, from Julia's perspective, it makes no sense for her to, like, not take this job. What even is my job? Do I work at this, like, you know, like a national park? Like, that's my job? How much could I possibly make? You know, like, we went to college and I think she was like a teacher or something. She draws. She does art. Do we even have enough money? Like, she's getting an opportunity to work at Yale. She wants to do it. Associate Department Chair. I don't know exactly what that means at all. It sounds significant, important, and monetarily viable. You guys live in fucking Boulder, Colorado. Not saying anything negative against Boulder. Just saying neither of these are good options. Convince her not to take the job or agree. It's like all I can do is I say I guess I'll agree if she. It's like I'm not gonna convince her not to take the job. You ask her if she'll commute back and forth. You don't want to move to Connecticut. She says that'll be hard, but she'll do it if you won't move. That's... Come on, man. At least give Connecticut a try. Like, it's not like your job won't take you back if your job is working for the park, as a park ranger or something. I don't know. You tell her not to pass it up if it's what she wants. She agrees. She flies back to Boulder 3 times each semester. So, honestly, given the fact that she's what she is, like, and then maybe spend summers there, that's not bad. But that seems like a strain on both people, you know? And it's a strain you're creating, Henry. And I was thinking of, like, I think The Grapes of Wrath, where it was like George and Lenny. There's no Henry in that. Or if there is, it's not one of the main characters. 1985. Julie is sent home from Yale on paid leave after having an episode. She lost it on a colleague for borrowing books that were important to her research. Okay. She didn't remember she'd happily loaned them to him just 2 days prior. Oh. Yeah, no. That's a bad look. Are you having like early onset Alzheimer's or signs of schizophrenia or something? Because I mean, it could just be due to stress and stuff, but that's not great. This is so not great. She was found crying in the stairwell. You say that maybe you guys should talk to someone about it. You try to make a macaroni and drink wine. No, you should. This is definitely something you should seek a professional about. Like, she could ruin her career. I know you might just want her to come back, but no. After seeing multiple doctors and having many tests, they're worried that Julie might early onset dementia. 41. She was 41. That's so sad. This is like the movie Up. Not really at all. Because they had like a whole ass life together. This is super fast. It's like condensed and just like, oh, we make you care. I get the feeling that my choices make some sort of difference. Like, I'm not going to be as good at climbing because I chose to get stabbed a bunch in the arm by being a hero or whatever. You both decide to keep it a secret for now. A secret from who? The dog? Don't tell Bucket. It's like, Bucket's like 10, 15 years old or something, man. I don't math. I don't know when we started, but, it's... Who? Like... She's gonna have problems at work. She needs to take medication, and... It's like 1985. Her best choices are like... Ginkgo biloba and shit. Okay, so that's less than ideal. Very sad. Guess I'll pick up this journal. I didn't even read it. Just, I laughed. Okay, so pretty. That's all I read. Just, okay. Bucket is getting older. Julia comments that it's kind of nice because he gets in less trouble around the house. What was he? He was a beagle? How much trouble? It's like, it's not fucking Snoopy. What is he trying to be, the Red Baron? Like, oh no, that fucking Bucket. Like, he's having dog fights, and by that I don't mean like fighting with other dogs. I mean like air-to-air combat in biplanes. He's got the little like the goggles and the little like leather cap thing on, and a scarf. It's really distressing. A week later, she goes back to university. Oh, I'm sure things will just turn out just fine. Julia's affliction gets worse. 1987. She can't remember things in class. Her research is in shambles. She drives her car to the next town over for no particular reason and has to be brought home by the police. Oh no. She's devastated. Yeah, no, she just... That's a thing. God, man, 41, 42. That's 40, even like less than 45, less than 50. She's just, you know, she gets off of work. She's having a stressful day. She just ends up in the wrong town and is just like, I don't live here. And then gets into enough trouble that somebody calls the police and they look at her ID, and that's a whole drama thing. And ugh. She is sent home on permanent medical leave. I mean, it sucks that right now, like, real talk, just me as a human being towards all my nobody's not watching, all the audience I don't have. In the event that maybe someday I do have a future audience, or just because this needs to be said, and I don't care if anyone hears it. It needs to be said even louder for those in the back. Early onset dementia, Alzheimer's, it's horrible. Like, it's really devastating. I'm not trying to speak of my good deeds. It's a thing that it hits close to home in the sense that I have tried to help as well as I can, and I will encourage others to help. But it is a very distressing thing to see, and just like, if you ever put yourself in that position, like, that's just crazy. I don't know if early onset dementia is the same as Alzheimer's. I'm assuming it is. That's just what they call it then. But no, you can't do your job, ma'am. You should go home. Some days you get the Julia who calls you a dope and your unborn children little idiots. Other days you get a stranger. So we still haven't children yet. Oh God, that's so sad. There's a part of her that's still very much there, but it's not necessarily the version of her that should be at the time. It's like Alzheimer's and stuff, like, it almost like it's like Swiss cheese in the brain. Like, I don't think it's like literally that, because just, you know, you think about that, like, the thing would crush, but it would fall. It's like density and stuff, and that's not how things work. But neurons and stuff, that's how it's like. And then to have a stranger who's just like, I don't like pudding. It's like, this is literally your favorite thing. Will you please just try it? Like, get away from me, I don't know you. It's like, oh God. I don't want any of this. She pulls you into bed to make love. After 5 minutes, she goes into panic, believing her dad is at the door. So she is like slipping through time mentally, like, right, like, she's cognitive and cogent and conscious and self and aware enough at the moment that she's like, hey, let's have some sexy fun time, right? And it's probably been a while. And I can't even imagine the difficulties that that would create. And I'd really rather not. I don't want to. I don't want anyone to have to suffer either side of that. But after 5 minutes, she goes into a panic. Because she thinks what? She's like, when you guys started dating, like, oh, he's gonna catch us and he's pissed off. You tell her family. They are crushed and begin to make trips to and from their home in Australia? Where are we? We're in Colorado? Or, no, we're in Colorado. I didn't move to Connecticut for her. That's a dick move, but... Wait, what? Why is she Australian? That's such a big... Okay. You guys just... Did you mention it before? Did I forget that? I just feel like... How did she get here? Alright, whatever. For a while, your friends come by with little things to brighten the day. She gets worse! 1988. You spend your days following Julia around the house. You count the seconds between the 2 weekly visits from Daniel, the nurse. He suggests that Julia could live somewhere else. Somewhere with 24-hour care. A home. It sits with you for a couple months. You decide to move her into the full-time care. Look, I don't even think it's about... I don't even know what Henry does for work. I assume he has been doing this park ranger thing for this long, and he's in his 50s or whatever, and it's like fine, because like that's what makes him happy. But this is definitely taking him away from that. She had a great job at Yale. You weren't willing to work and move there. I know you couldn't park ranger at Yale. Probably that doesn't make sense. I'm sure there's parks in Connecticut, but I'm not saying it's like this probably would have happened. It's a game. I'm thinking too much, but no, I'm totally gonna. This isn't like a selfish act. I don't think. I think this is like what's. If you look forward to, you count the seconds between the 2 weekly visits. Like, this person's a professional and you're not, if anything, you should have become a trained professional at this. If you're gonna do the thing, and you're not. You can't, like, leave her alone. So, yeah. Full-time care is the most logical thing to do. Well, that was incredibly depressing. I'm not having a lot of fun. Whee! Oh my god. It's like up. We're just gonna, instead of having a full long life that we just fast forward through, we're just gonna show you the parts enough to get you hooked, and then it's gonna be short. Great. Awesome. Terrible. Do I get a Boy Scout who has to help me cross the street or something, and a giant extinct bird and a dog that can speak English? Because otherwise, thanks for making me sad, game. Damn, the fuck.